Okay, and we're back. So now we're going to be working on Chapter 5, number 1, and under number 1 there's A, B, and C. So this chapter discussed graphs and charts. So we're going to create some graphs and charts using our data. So this is where we left off on this screen. We need to get back to our regular set of data. So once again, I can't click on my tab because this menu is here. So I'm just going to I'm going to go back and find sheet 1. That's what my data was called. One thing you can do if you want to keep things straight, you can rename your tab here. So I could call this, I could right click on it, go to rename, and say this is raw data. And now when it created those pivot tables, it put these other sheets in front of my raw data. And that's okay. But what I want to do first is rename this age, and then rename this number of treatment sessions. I'm just going to put TX for treatment. And then I'm going to move this raw data tab all the way to the front. So I'm just going to select it and move it, drag it to the front. And you can see that little black arrow to tell me where it was going to put it. So now that we have the raw data, we are going to create some charts. The first chart, let's work on number 1, item A. So item A asks us for the variable main substance abused to create and interpret a bar graph and a pie chart. So for Excel, what you will want to do, now that we already have our tables created, that makes this a lot easier. So we just select the header for the values in our variable, and we select all the possible values, and then you want to also select the frequency. But you don't want to select these other two columns. You only want to select the name and the type and then the frequency. So now that you have that selected, go up to Insert and then go to the Charts section. As you can see, there's lots of options. You can do the recommended charts, but we're not going to do that yet because we already know what kind of chart we want to make. So we're going to click on this. They call it a column chart, but for us it's a bar chart. Bar graph, I should say. So you're just going to click that. And then it brings up these different options, and it already previews what the chart is going to look like. So here you can see the bars are next to each other. If we had a second variable displayed, then that would be what's in the gray color. You could do 3D if you want to get fancy. I don't think it's necessary, so I'm going to keep it to the 2D. And so I'm going to click that to select it, and now I have this table. Now it's covering my data here and my table, so I'm actually going to put the cursor over it until it makes the move icon, and I'm going to select it and drag it. I guess I'll drag it down below the distribution table. So we also need to change a few things about the table itself. Right now it thinks that the title of the entire chart is frequency, but that's not what we want the title to be. We want it to be the name of the variable. So we can say this is a frequency distribution of main substance abused. And as you can see, it automatically moved it down to a second line because the current font size got too large. You can make the chart a little bigger so that it all fits on one line. And so as you can see, it's already, oh, I'm almost out of time. Okay, I'll show you the next video.